Good morning. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's webinar, exploring why Turkish nationals are investing in luxury UK property in 2025. I'm Adam Price, the CEO of Select Property. I'm delighted to be with you today. I'm just going to give it a minute or so before we start the content, just to ensure any late arrivals are with us. We don't want anybody to miss out. Hi, Kim. Hi, Ishmael.
Hi.
I'll introduce you both properly shortly, but great to see you both. And thank you for joining us today on this webinar.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
Good. So I think we're good to go. It's 1 minute past the hour. So again, welcome to today's webinar. I'm Adam Price, the CEO of Select Property. I'm delighted to be presenting to you today. I actually joined Select Property in 2005. So I've been with the business now for 20 years, and we've evolved significantly as a business over that time period. It will be my pleasure today to share my experience with you as both the CEO and a property investor, having purchased a small portfolio of luxury investment property with Select Property. So today's agenda, first and foremost, I'd like to start by introducing my fellow panelists. I'm delighted to be joined by Ishmael, Managing Director of Ingiltere Investments. Welcome, Ishmael.
Hello, hi, Adam. Nice meeting you.
Great to see you. And Kimberly Jackson, Select Property's Business Development Manager for the UK and Europe. So hi, Kim.
Hi.
Welcome both. In today's webinar, we will cover the following. I will give an introduction to Select Property. We'll then look at why Turkish nationals are investing in luxury UK property in 2025. We will give you an overview of the UK property market with an outlook for the year ahead. We will then focus on where to invest, finishing with a case study on Edition in Birmingham city centre. So, an introduction to Select Property. We develop, sell and manage the best UK property investments for our international investors. Fully managed investment experience from the initial point of contact to property management solution and exit strategy. We really are a one-stop shop for international and local investors. So founded in 2004, we have a proud track record in the global property market. We've sold property in many different countries historically, which includes the UAE, Spain, Portugal, Egypt, and Turkey. However, in 2012, we became a fully focused UK property developer with the creation of Beta Students, our purpose-built student accommodation brand, and the rest, they say, is history. We have global offices in Manchester, Dubai, where I'm presenting from today, Shanghai, and Hong Kong. People are vitally important to Select Property, and our international offices enable us to have local staff operating in the correct time zone who understand both the language and culture, meaning we can offer a top-level service to our global investors. We have a strong reputation in the industry, and we're proud that 50% of our business every year comes from repeat business or referrals. So whenever we launch a new project, we will always go to our loyal customers first and offer them priority choice of the best apartment at the lowest possible price point. We've now sold over £2.9 billion of property globally, which includes over £1.2 billion of UK property. And we're very proud that we have now paid out over £280 million to our investors from our operational portfolio through Select Residential, which is our property management business set up in Q1 2024 in line with high demand from our customers. So our objective there is to rent your property, to remove any hassle, streamline the process, and drive the rental price for you. I'll now hand over to Ishmael, who will introduce Ingiltere to you all. So thank you, Ishmael.
Hi there again. So basically, I've been in real estate since 2005. I started as a lettings negotiator in London in 2005. And then I worked in London about 6 years, moved back to Turkey, started working for a big developer there. Worked for a few big developers, worked for a big agency at the same time. 2018, I moved back to London. And then since 2021, I have my own company, which is İngiltere Investments'in. So I have the expertise for the London and UK real estate market. Plus, I know the Turkish, especially Istanbul real estate market quite well. So our priority is to work with investors, work with owner-occupiers, and we always want to sell them a very good product. We do not sell everything and everything in. If a developer brings a product to us, we don't just sell it because it is coming from a developer. We select our properties very carefully. We basically use AI tools and data tools to see if a location is good, if the prices are going to go up, if the rental yields are good enough, if the secondary market is good. So our main difference from, I'm not going to say my competitors because I generally don't see them as my competition, to be honest with you, but our main difference is we use a lot of data to back up our whatever we tell the clients, basically. So I would like to talk about why the Turkish nationals are buying in the UK right now, which is probably the hottest market for UK properties is Turkey. Obviously, UK is a very stable economy. Even with the mini budget a few years ago, it went down a little bit. But imagine in the same time, the Turkish economy has stumbled a lot. Like, so right now, anyone who would like to invest in the UK, they would get around about 5% to 4% to 5% capital growth year on year. They would receive about 4 to 7% rental returns. So this would give a lot of stability to the Turkish clients. Imagine when I set up my company, £1 was about like 7 lira. Now it has gone to 49 lira. So it is gone up about what, 7 times. So this is always good for the Turkish clients to put their money in a safe, stable environment. Some of our clients, obviously, they send their kids here as well. So I always tell them, you know, buy a property at the same time. Either they can live in it or they can use the rent to, you know, cover their costs here. So there are so many people now coming to study, especially we used to have only university students, but nowadays, nowadays they are sending their kids at a younger age as well. Like I know a family that are sending their kids to, I would say, middle school. I don't know, like, because when I was growing up, we used to call it middle school. So I think they're like 6th, 7th grade. So nowadays, everyone wants to purchase property here, obviously. This is one of the biggest reasons as well, because the education system is amazing here. And we can go to the next slide.
Thank you, Ismail. So it's a trend that we're seeing as a business. Turkey, a very important market for us. I think we're just discussing when we can next come over and present to you directly. But you know, having a look at the UK property market outlook for 2025, liquidity, so high levels of liquidity. It's the second most traded global real estate market now, only behind the US. We have very big demand, as I say, in Asia, China, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, Middle East. Yesterday I was in Kuwait. We have very strong interest from Saudi Arabia, Qatar. So, you know, the UK is recognized as a strong real estate market globally. Transparency is also key. You know, a safe, secure market established over hundreds of years. The UK again ranked #1 by JLL in the Global Real Estate Transparency Index for 2024. All purchases go through an AML process and are managed fully by a third-party solicitor. As Ismail correctly said, I think there is a great opportunity at the moment from a Forex perspective. Historically, the Great British Pound has been seen as a very stable currency, more stable than the lira. and this has been seen by the way it's appreciated tenfold against the lira since 2015. And actually, the pound is quite weak at the moment against the US dollar. So it's a really good opportunity to purchase UK property. And universities, one of the main reasons, one of the biggest reasons why the UK property market is so popular. We have some of the best universities in the world, represented by 4 UK universities, recently being voted in the top 10 world university rankings in 2023. I'm sure you've all heard of Oxford and Cambridge, but then on the next level, you've got the Birminghams, the Manchesters, the Leeds, the Edinburghs, so we really do have a world-class educational infrastructure, which means lots of young people come, study, and then end up staying with us and wanting to rent the best rental property in the market. All of this is creating a major shortfall when it comes to housing. So the UK housing shortfall is predicted to rise to a massive 720,000 homes by 2028. And this supply and demand imbalance is set to continue and will drive rental growth. So if you look at the UK, we have strong capital growth. A recent survey from Savills is predicting 21.6% capital growth in the UK between now and end of 2028 as a blended average. And as we touched on, rental yields, certainly in regional cities such as Birmingham, Manchester, you're looking at around 6% mark, which is very, very consistent and strong. And growth industries such as science, technology, the UK tech ecosystem employs 3 million people and is valued at 1 trillion, placing it third in the world. So all in all, the UK property market offers excellent diversification, very strong capital growth and rental yields for our investors. I'm now going to hand back to Ishmael, who's going to introduce you to Birmingham, the UK's second city by population and geographical location.
Exactly. This is, I think this is new to the Turkish clientele because everyone probably thinks Manchester is the second biggest city. Maybe it is because of the football teams, I'm guessing. But Birmingham is quite larger than Manchester in that sense. And also with the new coming HS2 project, like the prices, as you can see, they're going to go up around 20% by 2029. And the rents are going 22% by 2029. But I think historically in the last 5 years, it went up more than, I'm guessing, about 40-50%, because a friend of mine got a property there and then he was renting it out for $950 a month in 2020. Now he's renting it for $1,400, a 1-bedroom unit, basically. So I think these numbers are quite achievable. And I also invested in Birmingham, as I mentioned to you before. And since I purchased one, most of my clients that purchased with me before also started investing in Birmingham. And that's why we really would like to work with Select Property on this addition development. Reason being is, imagine if you try to buy something similar location, like a city center location in London, you would be looking at about 800 to 900,000 pounds. And here you can buy, it starts from 290,000 pounds. And location is literally right in front of all these big financial hubs like HSBC, Deutsche Bank, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Deloitte. They are literally right in front of your development. So I would definitely invest here instead of buying a property for the same price in Zone 6 next to a prison, basically in London. So definitely this is the development to invest right now from my personal point of view.
So thanks, Ismail, and thanks again to everyone that's joining us. It's been a really good turnout so far in the middle of the day. I think a really big importance to why Birmingham has been something that's been on people's lips for the last couple of years now. We know that Manchester and London have been main contenders for a global position for overseas investors' interests, but the stats of why Birmingham is becoming more compelling is increasing each year. As we touched on before, rentals in Birmingham are exceeding over 20% over the next 4 or 5 years, alongside your capital growth. And we know that obviously London isn't achieving nearly any kind of those rental figures, and the capital growth is almost kind of hitting that ceiling that we may be feeling for a couple of years now. But the real shift in Birmingham is that we know that there's been a material change in Birmingham's makeup, where it's transformed into one of the best cities to live and for work opportunities. Expectation of what renters want have changed, and demand for high quality development where first class facilities are consistently outstripping the supply. Paradise is essentially the biggest master plan that Birmingham is currently going through in Zone 1 of the city centre, and this is playing a major role in attracting global corporations like Goldman Sachs, HSBC, Deloitte, JLL, Deutsche Bank, all to relocate to Birmingham as part of a wider net carbon initiative that the UK is currently going through. And beyond this, commercial and retail is also becoming a huge focus, with almost 2 million square feet of retail and leisure space being developed directly in this area that we develop and sell in. And ultimately, what this means is that this will deliver over 10 brand new high quality buildings, over an additional 10,000 jobs in this area alone, and about 1.2 billion of investment into the city. And as a result of this already, it's created that perfect resident target market surrounding our developments, where over 12,000 employees who are Birmingham's highest earning professionals, they now live or work within just 1 kilometre walking distance of the site. And it's caused the biggest shortfall of housing that the city has ever faced. And it's currently the biggest shortfall of housing in the UK. Of 720,000 homes needed in the UK as a whole, 127,000 of that is just in Birmingham city centre alone. And it's causing the biggest supply and demand imbalance that the city has ever faced. So, I mean, going into sort of on our next slide and then understanding a little bit more about this location, as I said, this is Zone 1 of Birmingham city centre. We can see how the master plan is kind of phasing out. Everything in red has now completed and now fully occupied. Phase 2 completes this year in the green, and then orange will complete in 2028, just in line with the final completion of the second tower in addition. But you can just see there in the black square there, you can see how central it is. And all of those highlighted buildings that we can see on our screen, those are those entities like HSBC, Deloitte, and Deutsche Bank, all of those blue chip institutions that are within a walking distance to this site. So we'll just go into the next one on it. So Addition is the first development of its kind in Birmingham. It's transforming the residential market and bringing a new standard of luxury living and long-term value to investors. Park Residence is the first tower to be completed in Q2 2027. It stands at 15 stories tall with 1 and 2 bedroom residences throughout. And then Centenary Tower, which we actually just launched only a few weeks ago, will be completing the following year in 2028, again in line with that Paradise Master Plan completion. And that will be 45 stories tall, 1 and 2 bedroom residences throughout the building. So the reason why this is, not just an excellent opportunity because it's in Birmingham, it's an excellent opportunity because there has been an intentional curation of exceptional ranges of amenities to ensure that this development stands out in the long term and stands out as a market leader for years to come. In terms of facilities, you have a swimming pool with spa pools, sauna and steam rooms, aromatherapy showers. You have Zen gardens, state-of-the-art gym on the 44th floor overlooking the city, separate yoga and spin studios, private dining and sky lounges on the 45th floor, which I don't think there's any development in the UK that even offers something like that. 14th floor club terrace with additional spa pools, dry bars, business lounges, multiple co-working areas because we're still in that hybrid relationship of working at home and working in the office. and over 9,000 square feet of gardens that connect those buildings together, which also features outdoor cinemas and barbecue areas. And as standard, 24/7 concierge with complete security via key fob and app access. And each home is finished to an ultra high specification with like Samsung appliances, porcelain kitchen and bathrooms, and completely acoustic treated residences throughout. Going back to why this is all important, this level of detail and design has been intentionally created to cater for a very specific market. And it's those professionals and renters who are expecting a high standard of living. The current profile of buildings in Birmingham just don't meet the demands. And for investors, this means owning a property that not only attracts premium tenants and strong rental returns, but also represents a high quality long-term asset in a city that we know is rapidly growing for the foreseeable. And I'll return this to why this is a good investment opportunity in terms of your numbers. So I've created a financial forecast on a one-bedroom residence. Statistically, they do exceptionally well in the market. We know one bedrooms hit the biggest pool of demographics of your international students, parents sending their kids overseas, your young professionals, couples living together. It's endless. If we take a sort of mid-floor one-bedroom property around £320,000, during the build period in this area alone, it will accrue about £40,000 in capital growth and continue to grow by 4% each year in value. And Birmingham is performing resoundingly well already, as Ismail has touched on, with the rents growing rapidly each year. But for the sake of being baseline forecasts, this property would achieve on average £20,000 a year in rent, making your total return in investment about 70% over the 5 years of owning that property. And additional advantages include that there's no ground rent on this scheme. That's been abolished now on all new builds. Low service charge. This is a huge development, about 588 residences in total. So due to the scale of the development, approximately £170 a month for a one-bedroom per month and £250 for a two-bedroom per month is kind of like your comfortable baseline for a service charge. And I think most importantly as well is that investors want to know if their deposits are protected, and we have that in place already. So they're protected deposits, giving investors added peace of mind during the build period. So go on to the next slide. Oh, that's me done.
Thank you, Kim. A really good introduction there to Addition, which I think is one of the best projects in Birmingham of its type. Thank you so much for everybody's time today. Thank you to Ismail. Thank you to Kim for joining. Purchasing a property in the UK really is a wonderful addition to any savvy investor's property portfolio. Regions, such as Birmingham, the UK's second city, are currently experiencing a significant undersupply of premium rental property. When you look at the universities in Birmingham, with a 48% graduate retention rate, you can see exactly why this type of property is needed. Addition, in terms of location, quality, amenity, and facility, it doesn't really get too much better. And whilst it's a brilliant investment opportunity, I'd also describe it as a trophy asset for your portfolio. We are delighted to offer a 2% discount on all Addition properties, which is available to you exclusively for joining today's webinar. For further information, please contact Ismail, Kim directly. The contact details are now featured on screen. Thanks so much for joining. Hope to see you in the UK if you come and visit us. If not, I'll be delighted to travel over to Turkey for our next event with Kim.
We'll come to you.
So thank you very much, and see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Finished?